What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz, Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check. And yes, look at the title of this video. I know most people that have been watching this channel for a long time are going to think, okay, clicked on the Spaz Phoenix channel, and Cena's in the title. This is going to be a rant. This is going to be a rage. This is going to be Cenapocalypse 3. Which it's not. Now, don't get me wrong, John Cena still annoys the hell out of me. But a couple of things recently, and I've said it in previous videos, have actually made me stand up for John Cena to a certain point. John Cena, for the most part, annoyed me because he never put anybody over. That has changed in the past couple of years. He put Punk over in the prime of the summer of Punk. He put Daniel Bryan over most recently, which all the angry Daniel Bryan fans aren't really admitting. In the middle of their feud, he did give a steel cage victory to Bray Wyatt when they unified the titles, which, yes, it was on a minor pay-per-view, but finally unifying the titles was a big deal. He lost to Randy Orton. And most recently at SummerSlam, he got his ass handed to him quite handily by the Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. So a lot of the stuffing of some of my old arguments has gone away slowly. The other thing that's made me stick up for John Cena recently is people like Alex and Preston, etc., like to over-exaggerate the damage that that John Cena does by basically still existing in the WWE. John Cena does bad things, John Cena does annoying things, whatever, but, you know, if you want to go out and start talking about the cause of look at all the shit that John Cena does, exaggerating it doesn't really help very much, does it? Now, this video is not off the top of my own head. This is a combination of me responding to the great promo that John Cena had with Paul Heyman recently on Raw, talking about how his character needs to change, etc., and a video that Wrestling Jesus recently did on how we can improve John Cena. And the thing is, there's a knee-jerk reaction in the YWC right now. It's like, okay, if John Cena turns heel, everything will be fine. Everything will be hunky-dory as long as John Cena turns heel. We want John Cena to turn heel. They're not doing what they're not doing what we want them to do right now, so we're gonna bitch about John Cena. Now, I've always been the type, and you guys have known me for years and years and years, I've always been the guy, well, I can't stand John Cena, but I'll give him credit for, you know, he went out and tried to be an actor. He, you know, he does all the charity stuff, mentioning it on the show and da-da-da-da-da. Not so much, but doing the charity that he does is fantastic. I'll give him credit, even though I don't like him that much. Now, recently, like I say, he has put over more people, and he has, you know, the gargantuan John Cena show element has downsized slightly. Is it still the John Cena show? Absolutely. But everybody's convinced that if he turns heel, that all those problems are going to go away. It's like, no, he dominates the show as a face. If he turned heel, he's going to dominate the show as a heel. That's really all that's going to happen there. So what I have is about 15 or so points that could improve John Cena. Now, none of these involve turning him heel. None of them involve turning him heel, but they're little tiny changes. Like I say, they're not even big changes. They're little tweaks to make to his character that could make John Cena at least a little bit more palatable for those of us that are on the, you know, on the bandwagon of, oh, just get rid of John Cena and wrestling will be fine, which I'm still on, but let's be realistic, they're not going to get rid of John Cena, so they could at least make these little tweaks to the John Cena character, and we would have something that we could palatize while we're watching the other things that we are legitimately watching Raw, SmackDown, main event pay-per-views to see. In no particular order. It's not like this is like the most important thing, this is the least important. This is literally, guys, if you want to see, I literally made these notes on my phone while I was on a long bus ride this week. So, there's no Doomy Clipboard of Doom, because I don't take a clipboard with me on the bus, do I? But, here they are, in no particular order. Lose the shorts and lose the type of attire that he wears to the ring. Now, I don't say this because I think he should, you know, come out in classic wrestling tights. That's not really the thing. And I know that there are other wrestlers out there that do wrestle in clothes. But if you look at somebody like an R-Truth, yeah, he comes out and he wrestles in jeans, but they've been all, like, graffiti all over them and his name across the back and other various things that still make it very obvious that this is his wrestling attire. This is his character's wrestling getup. Guys like the Wyatts, you know, coveralls are not exactly a classic set of wrestling tights, but they're still, this is the character. This is what my character wrestles to the... Literally, literally the type of tan shorts or whatever that John Cena wears to the ring. I work in a warehouse 5 days a week, and the work shorts that I have for the warehouse look very similar to John Cena's shorts, which is just weird. It gives that element of this guy just walked in off the street and decided to have a match, which is not good. And it's especially not good to combine that idea with this is the biggest name in our company. So it's a really big put off. Now, if you go back to John Cena when he first came in and friggin' neon green short tights, and I'm not advocating that either. I'm just saying he needs to pick something else. You know, black shorts, black jeans, you know, ripped jeans and a t-shirt even. Like I say, I'm not advocating that he go to proper wrestling tights, because at this point that would just be weird. But it needs to be something else other than what it is, because it's not. It doesn't line up with what WWE tries to tell us that he is. Lose the army gimmicks. Now, I know, in real life, John Cena's dog tags that he has, I heard this story a long time ago, but I think the dog tags that he wears to the ring and kisses and he gives them to the referee and all that sort of thing at the beginning of his matches, I think it has his family's name on it or his parents' name on it or something sentimental like that. And I don't mean to disrespect that whatsoever. I think on the personal level, I think that's kind of a cool thing to do. But if you combine that with, you know, the nice, neat, tight crew cut and the fact that he comes out and he tries to stand like a soldier and salute at the top of the ramp, the feeling that you get from that is it's like, okay, we have an American audience. We're trying to get this guy to cheer, or sorry, we're trying to get fans to cheer for this guy. They're not going to cheer for him because he's any good, but if we can get him to replicate the mannerisms and the behaviors of a soldier, USA loves their soldiers, they'll cheer him that way. And I think, even though that's not what they're actually doing, they put out an idea that is very, very easy to hate when they do that. Especially, you know, John Cena has been in the Marine, but he's not a Marine. He's not a soldier. He's not a Air Force guy, Navy guy, whatever. He's a wrestler. He's a wrestler that played a Marine guy in a movie, and it seems very cheap, and it seems like a very desperate ploy. It's a lot like anytime he works in Make-A-Wish into his quote-unquote legit promos. I'm a great wrestler because I do charity. I'm fighting for such and such kid. I'm going to win this match for such and such kid, and it's just no. It's just no. You should be wanting to win the match because you want to be the champion, or you should want to win the match because you think you're the best, or because your opponent pissed you off, which I'll get to in a second. You shouldn't be winning a match because kids like you. You shouldn't be winning a match because you shook some soldier's hand, because that doesn't automatically enhance your wrestling ability in this wrestling world that we live in. Also, I lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? He comes out here, he talks about what a great superstar he is for all the charity that he does. Being a guy that does a lot of charity makes you a good person. Doing charity doesn't make you a good wrestler. And there's another big disconnect in logic that makes John Cena very hard to like. He needs to stop the, I understand these fans because I'm just like them. I'm just like them. I'm a regular, everyday, hard-working man just like this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. No. And the more you try to say, or sorry, the more the WWE tries to say that John Cena is just another common guy, like, it kind of works for Daniel Bryan, but it's not even true with Daniel Bryan. You can put Daniel Bryan and John Cena kind of head-to-head in this one. But John Cena, we've seen him interviewed. We know he's got like 10 cars and 3 houses, and each one of his houses is bigger than any house that you or I in the wrestling community are ever even going to see. He's hooked up with a Bella. He makes more money than we're going to see in our lifetimes, and it's offensive to have him come out and try to equate himself with us. I know it's because for years and years and years WWE have tried to say, WWE fans have tried to say that he's not relatable, but play up and admit that he's not relatable. Like, we want to see 2 different kinds of wrestlers in wrestling. We want to see guys that are completely relatable, and we want to see guys that are larger than life. John Cena, for better or for worse, whether you like him or whether you don't, he's one of those larger-than-life characters. But for him to say, oh, I'm just like you. No, you're not. Because if I want a bag of chips, I gotta walk to the store. If you want a bag of chips, you call Vince McMahon and make sure that catering has your favorite bag of chips for you before wrestling starts on a Monday night. You're not the same as me. Like that, it doesn't work. And like I say, it's insulting the intelligence. And when you're insulting the intelligence of your audience, they're not going to care about what else you have to say, even if it is valid. That's not stop being a billboard. Now, I'm not going totally off the cage with this one. A lot of wrestlers, including Daniel Bryan, including CM Punk, including Randy Orton, including down the line, they all wear their merch to the ring. They have, you know, the Viper t-shirts and you know, the Best in the Worlds and the HBKs and all that, and the Triple H and the Authority t-shirts and all that. It's all good. Yeah, you've got a new t-shirt, wear the t-shirt. Don't come out in the t-shirt and a couple extra headbands and a couple extra armbands and a hat and a towel and come down to the ring handing your hat off to one kid and looking into the camera like, hey, you can get this at the WWE shop for only $9.99. Takes off his armband, hands it to another kid, but he's always looking in the camera like he's looking at the audience. Like, you could have an armband just like this kid, you know, WWE shop, $9.99. Just it becomes almost as obnoxious as a WWE network plug when he comes in literally spewing merch like he's a vendor. Like, that's bad. Yes, you have a new t-shirt, you're going to wear your new t-shirt to the ring. You want the crowd to know that there is a new t-shirt. That's fine. That's fantastic. And for somebody like John Cena, who they produce a new t-shirt for seemingly every other week, so that they can bump his merch sales numbers up and say that he sells the most merch and therefore call him the best superstar of all time, I kind of understand why they do it. But if you make him such an obvious salesman, everybody's going to turn off. Again, leaving us disconnected from anything that he might say in a promo or do in a ring that is legitimately good. So don't make him a billboard. We need to have some new entrance music for him for a couple of reasons. I mildly enjoyed John Cena when he first came in. Not when he first came in, but when he first came in and developed into the rapper gimmick. It was cheesy for sure, but it was fun. It was funny. He had some attitude to him, and a lot of the stuff that he did was not particularly good rap, which I really don't think there is such a thing as good rap to begin with, but a lot of it was at least funny. It was enjoyable. It was like you could see it, you could laugh it off, you could brush it off, get on with your day. But it was fun and it was a little bit different and whatever. Now, the fact that he still comes out to rap music reminds us how far he's come from that character and how much he's gone from this character that was supposed to be all out there and a little bit different and a little bit counterculture to such a corporate suck-up. It's unbelievable. The music rubs that in. Not to mention that you can't really take the guy seriously because the rap music that he uses now almost sounds like circus music. And it's like big trumpets and shit in the back of his bad, horrible rapping that we've been hearing for the past 10 years or so. And for somebody who's such a big babyface, rapping yourself to the ring, because that's the voice you're hearing when you hear his entrance music, is his own voice. Rapping yourself to the ring, is that not the highest level of ego and egocentricism that there is? I mean, right now it works for somebody like Tyler Breeze in NXT, who's supposed to be this pompous, full of himself, diva type character. He has his own song, he sings himself to the ring, it works because he's a heel, and he's supposed to look like an arrogant prick. John Cena comes out there doing something like this that makes him look like an arrogant prick, and so self-centered he has to sing himself to the ring, and then we get told what a great guy and what a positive guy and what a hero he is. It's offsetting. So get him some music. Get him some different music. Get him some music that's not rap and not performed by him. And you'll set a tone before he even comes to the ring and starts and lands his first move or says his first word. It's a presentation thing. I'm not saying, you know, turn around tomorrow and give him Metallica or Disturbed or something like that, because that's not going to work either. But it has to be something else, because it sounds like party music, it sounds like circus music, it sounds like music from a bazaar, and not only that, it's performed by him, and it's from an era of his character that isn't there anymore, so nothing fits. He needs to get pissed off at his opponents, and I say this before and after. When his opponents do something to him, when they jump him or they tell him off or da-da-da, all he does is spew the typical, you know, I'm going to rise above you because I'm better than you, da-da-da-da-da. When they beat him, when they do get a chance to beat him, he comes out the following week, he's never pissed off, and he's never downtrodden, unless that's the angle they're going with. But in general, he's not really affected. He's like, I fell down last night, but I've picked myself back up today, and yada yada yada. And it's so unrealistic. You cannot tell me that being beaten by a new guy like Bray Wyatt, that has been saying so much shit about him, never pissed him off. You cannot tell me, even though he came out all super respectful and shit, losing to a half pint like Daniel Bryan didn't piss him off a little bit. Losing to a smartass like CM Punk, who was threatening to leave the company with his title, didn't piss him off a little bit and make him, and never made him snap. That's unhuman, or inhuman, unhuman, however you want to say it. Let him snap. Let him show that he wants to win for the sake. Let him be selfish. This is the thing that I want to say. Every star, be it a Jericho, be it a Triple H when he was a face, be it a Stone Cold Steve Austin, be it a Rock, even when Rock was face, they still had that selfish element of they wanted to win because they wanted to win. They wanted to win because they wanted to prove they were better than the other guy. They wanted to win so that they could have the title. No, coming out there and saying, oh, I'm going to win for the fans, I'm going to win for the little kids, I'm going to win for Make-A-Wish, I'm going to win for, you know, XYZ soldier that let me hold his Purple Heart for 5 minutes, which is all fantastic. But admit that you want to win because you want to win. It will make people get behind you more, because that is relatable. That is relatable. The other half of that, get pissed at the fans. If you're a good guy, I mean, if you're John Cena and you're a bad guy, if you're a bad guy, you come out there, they boo you, you flip them off. But if you're a good guy and you've done all these good things, at some point, you want to say to the people, what the hell do you want? I'm this good guy, I do all these great things, and you still boo me. What the fuck do you want? Years and years and years and years and years ago, there was a match, not that long ago, there was a match, and you guys know I'm horrible with timelines, but there was a match with Mick Foley and somebody, where he got the living snot kicked out of him, and all the crowd did the whole time was cheer for Austin. And Foley came out the next night and basically said, screw you all. I was laying there in a pile of my own blood last night, and all you guys could do was cheer for Austin? Like, fuck off. And that's relatable. That is relatable. That you can latch onto. That makes you engaged in the character known as Mick Foley, because, yay, you know, his character was offended that you were not concerned about him. His character was offended that you've said all these bad things about him, yada, 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 yada. When they chanted, die, Rocky, die, and Rocky sucks, what did they do? They responded by turning him heel. Now, I'm not advocating turning John Cena heel, as I said, but he reacted to the fans. He reacted to them. What's wrong with you? I'm standing here, I'm doing everything the way I'm supposed to do it, and you guys still don't love me. What the hell is wrong with you? Maybe it's you guys that are wrong. Maybe you guys are bad people. It has to be something like that, or else it's not relatable. For him to let all that roll off his back all the time is so painfully Superman. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. He needs to hurt people. This is an extension of the getting pissed off thing. When somebody's gotten in your face as much as they have, as much as somebody like a CM Punk did, as much as somebody like a Randy Orton or a Triple H did, you need to want to hurt them. You need to have that Austin moment in the corner where the guy's trapped, so you're gonna stomp him for everything it's worth. Now John Cena comes in, you know, with his fake-looking angry, aggressive face, and has a John Cena match. He'll, you know, make maybe one aggressive promo before the pay-per-view and then have a John Cena match. He needs to, I don't even know how to say this. He needs to look as if he wants to hurt the guy across the ring from him. Because that's where stories are told. If you have somebody coming at you that wants to hurt you and you're just like, oh, that's okay, you can try to hurt me all you want, I'm just going to win the match and go on. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, you need to look like you're angry, you need to look like you're pissed, you need to look like you have intent when you do something. Even his finisher just kind of looks like he's tossing the guy across the ring a little. It's bad. It's really, really bad. You need, and I'm being repetitive, and I know that, you need to look like you want to hurt somebody. Wrestling is a fighting sport. Okay, take it out of kayfabe. The show that we're watching is we're supposed to believe that these two guys want to fight each other. And it doesn't look like that with John Cena. When he puts on the STF, he puts it on as light as he possibly can and he lies on somebody. Like I say, the AA just looks like he's pushing the guy across the ring. He needs to have something. He needs to grab or at least have a moment like he did. Okay, I'll give him credit at WrestleMania. He had that moment where he grabbed the chair and he thought really hard about using it on Bray Wyatt, and it almost came back to bite him in the ass, because ultimately the moral whatever, blah, 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 blah. You need to have that moment where it's like, okay, this match is going on, I'm defending my title or whatever. You know what? I want to defend this title the right way, but this guy's pissed me off so much, just bam. It needs to happen, or else he's not relatable whatsoever. He needs to get hurt. And when I say get hurt, I mean somebody fucked up your arm last night at a pay-per-view, you're not available. Somebody fucked up your leg, you're not available. You're in a match with Daniel Bryan at a pay-per-view, and he wrenches on your arm all night. You come into Raw the next night, whoever you're facing takes advantage of it and maybe gets a win on you. I mean, it wouldn't hurt his character that much because it's like, oh, it's John Cena. He would have won that match if his arm wasn't so beaten down by Daniel Bryan. I mean, does that bury whoever his opponent is on Raw a little bit? Yeah. But you know what? It's giving Daniel Bryan, who did all that damage to him at the pay-per-view, credit for a loss that John Cena had the next night on Raw. And that's how you build up the credit of Daniel Bryan, or CM Punk, or Randy Orton, or Dean Ambrose, or whoever you're going to put against John Cena. Have Dean Ambrose go in there and... I can't think of the name of the move right now, but his forward face crusher maneuver that he does... And of course I can't think of the name of it, which is fantastic. But, oh, the Dirty Deeds. If he hits the Dirty Deeds on John Cena, sell it as a devastating move. Sell it as John Cena didn't get up from that. Sell it as John Cena's only having a match the next night on Raw because the Authority made him, and some mid-carder hits him in the face the next night, and that's enough to take out John Cena because of the damage that Dean Ambrose did the night before. John Cena needs to get hurt, and he needs to show that it's hurt, and he needs to show lingering effects of being hurt. Daniel Bryan, as much as I shit on him for the WrestleMania build and the WrestleMania payoff, which was crap and overbooked, going into WrestleMania, Daniel Bryan had his shoulder wrapped and his arm wrapped, and he was selling it for most of the match, and yada yada, except for when he forgot to go back. There's many times where he forgot to sell it, oh yes. But the injury that he sustained happened, what, like 3 or 4 months beforehand, and his opponents just kept on working in the same area to keep that injury fresh. You don't see shit like that with John Cena. I mean, you see somebody go for the arm occasionally and they'll mention, oh yeah, John Cena had work on his shoulder years and years and years ago, and, you know, he'll try to sell it badly for 5 minutes and then he'll hit the AA in the same match. I'm just saying, he needs to learn how to be hurt. I'm not saying I legitimately want John Cena the person to get hurt, don't get me wrong, but John Cena as a character needs to learn how to be hurt. It just doesn't shine through at all. John Cena needs to fall to numbers. Now, here's where I make a distinction between what I say and what most people say. A lot of people say that the only way John Cena can improve his contributions to the WWE, he needs to start putting people over. And for most people, that translates into he needs to lose more. I would be cool. Why is the phone ringing? Why? There we go. They can call back. Most people just want John Cena to lose more. I would be cool with John Cena losing a bit more, but whether you like it or not, as big as John Cena is right now, if he just started losing day after day after day, week after week after week, month after month after month, solid, and went on this gigantic losing streak, it would very much seem like WWE was compensating and just trying to placate our needs. It wouldn't seem like he was genuinely losing. So John Cena can still win matches. He could have matches where he doesn't look so dominant. He could have matches where, you know, people come closer to looking like they're going to beat him. But John Cena winning at the end of the day, with as big as John Cena with as big as WWE makes John Cena out to be these days, John Cena winning matches, as much as we don't like it, makes sense. What doesn't make sense is in no disqualification situations, if he's got a match with so-and-so and then that person's backup and backup and backup come in, and he kind of gets piled on by everybody and still explodes out and still wins with no additional effort and floors the whole field by himself. Have him win matches. Have him be dominant in matches, because he is. Have him acknowledge once it's 2-on-1. Once it's 3-on-1. Like the Wyatts did. When the Wyatts first attacked John Cena, they left him laying. And that was good. But John Cena needs to give us more of that. Win your matches, fine. Be dominant, fine. Struggle a little bit, that would be even better. But fall to the numbers. At least acknowledge the numbers. And people will respect you a lot more because it'll be more realistic. Stop being the main event of every show. And when I say the main event of every show, I don't necessarily mean the guy in the last slot. John Cena doesn't wrestle on Raw as much as he used to, which is fine. He's been going 12 years. Of course he's going to wrestle less. He's going to slip into Hulk Hogan, Undertaker territory soon. But John Cena simply being there on Raw gets played up the whole night. John Cena, if Paul Heyman, like prime example, Paul Heyman cut a promo on John Cena a couple of weeks ago. The next week, we heard right at the beginning of the show, John Cena is going to respond to Paul Heyman tonight. And at the first commercial break, don't forget, later tonight, John Cena is going to respond to Paul Heyman. And at the end of the next match, it's like, that was a great match, and don't forget, John Cena is going to respond to Paul Heyman. Now, it was I believe it was the second hour main event. It was not the main event of the night, but it was what was pushed all night. So what it's done, once again, much like the WWE title situation, even if John Cena's not in the last slot, even if John Cena's not carrying that belt around, he's still the main event because that's how it's played out. That segment that was at the end of the second hour was what was played up all week. And it was all played up to a talking segment. So the WWE made you feel like John Cena coming out and talking and cutting a semi-decent, if you're nice, promo was the main event of the night. Now, it didn't matter whether, you had Jericho versus Rollins in a friggin' 5-star classic at the end of the night. That wasn't played up as much as John Cena coming and grabbing a mic and giving a bad promo. Never mind when he opens and closes the show, or when he has multiple backstage segments in the same night. If you've got a main event match, and I'm going to use the example, Jericho and Rollins. Jericho and Rollins is a match I want to see one-on-one. Once he's done with the Orton thing, once he's done touring with Fozzy, if he comes back again, he wants to tour with Rollins, I would love to see that. Jericho versus Rollins would be a fantastic match. If you've got Cena cutting a promo in the middle of the show, and Jericho versus Rollins is your main event, yeah, mention once or twice that we're going to hear from Cena tonight, because it's Cena, and that's what they do. But blow it from the rooftops that you've got this great, potentially 5-star classic match going to happen at the end of the night. Stop making John Cena the main event. And once he doesn't have the title anymore, which he doesn't, once he's not in the title situation, like once he's not the one fighting Brock Lesnar, once somebody else steps up, whether it's Cesaro or Reigns or Orton or whoever, once John Cena is not fighting for the title, slam him down the card on a pay-per-view. Still have him have a prominent spot, put him in a prominent feud, fine, wonderful, fantastic. But, and there's a big but, slap it in the middle of the card. Just so that if nothing else, so that you can please the fans and be like, look, we put somebody else in the main event. John Cena doesn't have the title, John Cena does not have the main feud in the company, so he wasn't the main event. We're doing things that make more sense. Simple as, right? Stop the commentators, from kissing John Cena's ass. And at SummerSlam is a prime example. JBL was saying, look, Brock Lesnar's a destroyer. He's destroyed everything everywhere he's been for the last 10 years. He destroyed the WWE. He was the youngest ever champion. He went to the UFC. He proved himself in the UFC. Now he's come back. Now he's taken out so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. And King and Michael Cole were both like, well, yeah, but John Cena's John Cena. No. Just no. Don't play up John Cena to be indestructible, because the more you play up John Cena to be indestructible to a crowd that's already pissed off about how indestructible John Cena is, they're going to turn off. They're just going to turn off. Or, especially if John Cena's in the main event, whatever the semi-main is going to become the main event, because people are going to switch off. Especially now that people have the WWE Network and they're not paying for pay-per-views, they're going to switch off after the second last match. It is what it is. You can put John Cena in the main event all you want, but if people are turning off before that match happens, then who cares? Stop the kiss ass. Stop the, oh, John Cena needs to win because of X, Y, and Z, and sure, he's down right now, but, I believe in him, and, I'd be surprised if he won, and Brock Lesnar's just... Okay, Brock Lesnar's not going to beat John Cena. Brock Lesnar is the greatest challenge John Cena has to overcome so far, and it's almost like it was a predetermined thing that John Cena was going to win, which again reinforces the message to the fans that if you have a John Cena match, you shouldn't care because it's predetermined that John Cena is going to win, and that's not a good thing, is it? That's not a good thing, is it? It's like everybody going into the Royal Rumble and thinking that Daniel Bryan was going to win, and then he wasn't even in it, and then everybody shit their pants. Things shouldn't be predictable. You should be surprised by results. I was pleasantly surprised by what Lesnar did to Cena. I was pleasantly surprised Money in the Bank 2011 with what CM Punk did to John Cena. I thought CM Punk was on his way out the door that night. I thought CM Punk didn't have a chance in hell. CM Punk came in, won the match, went on to have a year and a bit title run, cutting pipe bombs and cutting through everybody. Fantastic. John Cena should not be in those specially booked, what I will call foregone conclusion matches. Make it believable that John Cena will lose. Here's a little branch off of that. People chant that John Cena can't wrestle. Do not then mock them by having John Cena attempt very, very shitty basic wrestling when that's not what he's good at. When we say John Cena's not exciting, don't respond to that by putting out a blatantly shitty head scissor or really, really, really sloppy chain wrestling. Because that's not only not listening to the criticisms that your fans have, that is mocking the criticisms that your fans have. Play John Cena up like he's the greatest wrestler ever. Fuck off with that shit. And last but not least, it's very desperate, like the very first thing I mentioned. Stop having every legend that you bring back to the company kiss John Cena's ass. Simple as that. I don't want to see guys like Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels and whoever else you want to mention have their legendary status reduced to, okay, I took a quick paycheck to come back and kiss John Cena's ass. I really don't. It makes me angry as a fan. It makes me angry for them. It makes me disappointed in them, and to know that they're there because WWE wants to compensate for the shortcomings of John Cena now makes me resent John Cena. So stop bringing the legends back. Stop making them kiss John Cena's ass. Stop having the commentators kiss John Cena's ass. Let him be more realistic. Let him fall down when he's losing 5-on-1. Let him lose a couple of matches. Let him get pissed off. Change up his gear, because his gear is 15 years old. Tell him to stop being out there like a car salesman trying to toss off all his merch and stop doing the friggin' army bullshit gimmick. There's a lot of things here. I've said a lot of things. I've mumbled through a lot of them. These are a lot of points. These are a lot of little things that we could do that wouldn't change John Cena that much. They wouldn't change the, face of the company status that he has. He could still go out there and be the spokesman of the company and all that, flash his baby blues in an interview and whatever else he wants to do. None of the things I've mentioned here would affect any of that. But they would make him a lot more palatable to wrestling fans. That's just my 2 cents. Anyways, yeah, so I don't think that was too negative a video, considering that I'm talking about John Cena and not ranting. Gonna send this one out to my buddy James, Fear the Spear 1990, because it's kind of ironic that one of the biggest supporters of this channel is also one of the biggest John Cena fans I've ever met in my life. So officially, this one is dedicated to James, and that's about all I've got to say. In the meantime and in between time, I've been Spaz Phoenix, your YWC reality check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. How would you improve John Cena if you absolutely had to and somebody gave you the job? How would you do it? Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later, but for add more questions to the Q&A. You've got 12 days to do it. I'm tagging out. Bye.